guys, it's me, James, and I get the blessing or the honor to talk with you guys about chapters 4, 5, and 6 of Romans this week. And if you're not caught up, if you're not there, you better get there because this is really good stuff, and I'm really excited to talk about this with you guys today. But first, I guess a little update as far as what I've been doing for the summer. I've been in Bloomington the whole summer, working at an internship in downtown Bloomington, which has been a blast. I did it last summer, and it's a lot of technology and fancy stuff, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. I've gotten the blessing to stay with the Childresses, and not Jordan and Carolyn, but Jordan's parents for the summer, who live down here, and it's just been a huge blessing to get to stay with them and to not have to pay for housing and stuff like that, and also just to get to experience a lot of crazy times down here. One crazy situation, for example, was a tornado that kind of rolled through the backyard about a month ago, and I was the only one here. It was a little crazy. Picked up a shed and a golf cart, knocked down a barn, and yeah, but I guess that's kind of the cost of living. I don't know. But to kind of get to the meat and potatoes of today, chapters 4, 5, and 6, Paul kind of talks about two different things in these chapters. I guess I'm going to talk about the second thing first, and then the first thing that he talks about, because I really like the first thing, and I think that the second thing is pointless if we don't have the first. But the second thing that Paul talks about is kind of the meaning of Christ dying on the cross for us and what that all meant, as far as from a defeating sin and defeating death sort of standpoint. He gave us a way to receive, or not really receive, but receive's the word I want. A way to receive and to be able to be justified or righteous and receive salvation through means of that, because without him doing that, our lives were ruled by sin, and we could not conquer death, so to speak. But through Christ and him dying on the cross, we were able to be justified, we're able to receive justification and righteousness and salvation through what he did. And that is very important that happened. And the first thing that he kind of talks about that I'm going to get into here is it's kind of pointless if the other thing didn't happen. And also, the other thing is kind of pointless if this wasn't possible. And it is explaining the way that we receive that salvation through Christ. Chapter 4 talks a lot about the difference between faith and works, doing good deeds and trusting in God and believing in him, and kind of which one is more important, or which one allows you to receive salvation. And the answer to that, if you simply read through chapter 4, it's clear that faith is that way that we receive that justification and that righteousness, that salvation that Christ died for us for. And I think it's very important that we know that, but I think sometimes people get confused still, the relationship that exists between faith and works, and kind of what is the purpose of one without the other. If faith is all that gets us to heaven, then why do we do good things as Christians? Or if we don't need faith to get to heaven, then why don't we just do good things, and then whatever we believe doesn't matter? It's very important questions need to be answered, and kind of the best explanation I've ever heard about the relationship between these two things It's by a guy called C.S. Lewis, who wrote a book called Mere Christianity. And if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. I think that every Christian should read it because it gives you a really good foundation and understanding of what Christians believe and why we believe it. And yeah, just his style of writing is very good, and he uses a lot of analogies and stuff like that that kind of puts things in the perfect perspective for me. But in his book, he explains this relationship by saying this. He says that it is by faith and by faith alone that we are saved. And it is of that faith that we have in God, out of wanting to be more like Him and closer, that good deeds and good works must inevitably come. Or simply saying that we are saved through faith, and if we truly have faith and are truly trying to follow Christ, that good deeds and good works must come out of that and have to be a result. That if we say we have faith but we don't see good works in our lives, I would question as to whether or not we really had faith, or true, genuine faith. And the book of James actually talks about this as well. It simply says, you can read it for yourselves in chapter 2, right around, starts at verse 14, it's kind of the whole section, but it simply, in short, it says that faith without works is dead. That faith, without being able to see anything resulting of it, is pointless, is meaningless. And likewise, it kind of says that works without faith is pointless. And yeah, I think kind of the questions I want you guys to ask yourselves, or kind of food for thought, is that one, ask yourself, do you have genuine faith? Or do you have genuine faith, or is your involvement in Christianity and the things that you do simply because of good deeds, or is it because that you have genuine faith in Christ? And then I think the second thing that you should ask yourself is that if you do come to or decide that you have genuine faith in Christ, I would ask yourself as to whether or not you see good deeds and good works pouring out of yourself and through the things that you do, kind of resulting from that faith. And if not, you have some thinking to do, some changing, so to speak, or what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I think knowing this relationship between faith and works is very important, and especially today as Christians, that we know the difference, that we know that people that we know that just because somebody is good doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to heaven. And yeah. But yeah, I don't know quite what else to say. But thanks for watching this video. If you are watching this video, I'm probably gonna make a guess that 10 people max watch this. But anyways, I'm glad that you took the time out of your day to listen to kind of what I have to say. And I hope that you dive into this topic more throughout the week.